Okay, so continuing with our word problems, we have here the fourth one. Mikasa would like to create her own gym where she trains all people of color, gender, and ages, the secrets to martial arts. Okay, so why isn't it responding? Okay, so and the sacred knowledge of physical wellness. She would like to build the gym on the following side measurements. So these are the side measurements. We have to get the area of the triangle. So how do we do that? Okay, so we first write the letters that get symbolized for it. So we have here A is equal to 9 phi, okay, R is equal to 7 pi, and C is equal to 4e, where E is your exponential constant, okay? Exponential constant. And P is of course, or pi is of course a constant, okay, so that's 3.14, and phi is equal to 1 plus square root of 5 all over 2. Okay, so let's try to solve for the value first of the, let's try to first identify what type of formula we're going to use. So since we're given 3 sides, we can use the Heron's formula. Okay, so that will give us A is equal to S times the square root of S. Okay, square root of S times S minus A times S minus B times S minus C. Okay, so first we have to solve for the value of S, the value of S, or the semi-perimeter. So that's A plus R plus C. Okay, so for this one, okay, so let's change that to R. Okay, so that's going to be all over 2. So that's going to give us 9 phi plus 7 pi plus 4e all over 2, and that will give us, okay, so the value of the semi-perimeter is equal to 23.71 meters. Okay, so let's try to solve for the area. So the area is going to be the square root of 23.71 multiplied by 23.71 minus 9, okay, 9 phi, okay, multiplied by 23.71 minus 7 pi, okay, and then let's evaluate that to 23.71 multiply minus 4e. Okay, so let's try to evaluate this. Okay, so when we evaluate this entire expression, it's going to give us an answer which is equal to 69.18. Okay, 69.18 squared meters. Okay, so this is the area. Okay, so this is the area of the triangle that we have here. It's equal to 69.18 squared meters. Okay, so let's try to solve for the area of this triangle. So Historia wishes to create a triangular shaped floor area in her rectangular room palace. Given that the side measurements on the image below, on the image on the right, find the area of the triangular floor pattern inscribed on the rectangular palace hall. Okay, so since it's inscribed in the rectangular palace hall and we don't know the dimensions of the triangle itself, we just know the dimensions of the rectangle, we can use this formula. Okay, so A is equal to, okay, A times B all over 2 minus, okay, C times D all over 2. Okay, so let's solve for the area. So this is going to be the area of triangle JU. Okay, let's say this is let's say that's letter M, JUM. Okay, so there you go. So we have here the side measurement of A, which is 32, the side measurement of B, which is 56 all over 2, minus the side measurement of C, which is 12, and the side measurement of D, which is 10 all over 2. Okay, so now we can solve. So 32 times 56, so that's going to give us 1792, okay, all over 2. Okay, so that's going to give us 896. Okay, and then we have here 100 minus 120 all over 2, so that's going to give us 60. And then 896 minus 60, so that's going to give us 836. So therefore the area of the triangle pattern for Historia's palace is going to be 836 squared decimeters. Okay, so squared decimeters. Okay, so that's the area for the triangle for Historia's palace, 836 square decimeters. Okay, so let's try this one. A Pythagorean Theorem problem. So a newly built pond in Makati Park is shown on the image on the right. A small boat docks from point E to point R. Given that from HE, it covers a distance of 12d plus 3 meters, and from H to R, it covers a distance of 4d plus 1 meters. Find the value of d given that the boat travels 97 meters from point E to point R. Okay, so we have here, okay, so since this is the right angle, okay, so therefore ER, okay, side measurement ER must be the hypotenuse, okay, because this is the 90-degree angle. Okay, so this one should be the hypotenuse, so therefore it has to be, the formula can be HE squared plus HR squared is equal to ER squared. And we know the value of HE, so it's going to be 12d plus 3 squared, and the value of HR, which is 4d plus 1 squared, is equal to 97 squared. Okay, so using binomial theorem, okay, so we can say that 144d squared plus 12 times 3, so that's going to give you 36 times 36 plus 36 is going to give you 72d plus 9 plus 16d squared, okay, and then 4d plus 4d, that's going to give you simply 8d plus 1 is equal to, so what's 97 squared? So that's 9,409. Okay, so therefore we can now solve for the value of d. Okay, so 144 plus 16, that's going to give you 160d squared plus 72 plus 8, you're going to get 80, okay, plus 80d plus 10 is equal to 9,409. And then if we minus that, so we're going to get 160d squared plus 80d plus, okay, so actually it's not going to be a plus, it's going to be a minus. Okay, so it's going to be 10 minus 9,409, so it's going to give you negative 9 or minus 9,399 is equal to 0. So we can input this on our calculator here, so we can find the value of d. Okay, so d is going to be equal to mode, okay, 5 equation, and then, okay, we have to press the third one, okay, the third option. Okay, so we have here 160 for the first coefficient, 80 for the second numerical coefficient, and negative 9,395 for the third coefficient. Therefore, the value of d is equal to 7.41, so that's d sub 1, and d sub 2 is going to be equal to negative 7.91. And again, since we cannot take a negative value for the value of our d, okay, so therefore the value of d is equal to 7.41. Okay, so let's try to identify the question. Okay, given that, okay, the distance from, okay, so maybe since we've already found the value of d, we can try to compute for the side measurements of the given figure. Okay, so we have here HE is equal to 12. Okay, so that's going to be 7 times 7.41 plus 3. And we have here HR is going to be 4 times 7.41 plus 1. Okay, so let's try to compute for their side measurements. So that's going to be 12 times 7.41, okay, plus 3. So that's going to give you 91.92, okay, 91.92 meters. And for this one, this is going to be 7.41 times 4, okay, and then plus 1, so that'll give you 30.64 meters. While the hypotenuse itself, okay, which is ER, is equal to 97 meters. Okay, so we have here an 8th Pythagorean problem. So we have here, so Regis is about to buy a new TV for her new house. The plasma TV with a diagonal length of 45 inches So this one, the diagonal length RT is equal to 45 inch. So that's quite a big TV. And has legs of x inches and 18 over 7x. Okay, so what is the value of x and the length and the width of the plasma TV? Okay, so we can see already that we have here a Pythagorean Theorem related problem, because the plasma TV is a rectangle, and of course all of the angle measurements of a rectangle is 90 degrees. So we have here a right triangle. Okay, so therefore we can say that RC squared plus CT squared is equal to RT squared. And we know that RC is equal to 18 over x, okay? 18 over 7x. Okay, we can square that. And for CT, so that's just simply x squared, is equal to RT squared, which is equal to 45 squared. Okay, so let's try to square this one. Okay, so this is going to give us, okay, 18 over 7. Okay, so when we square that, it's going to give us 324 over 49 x squared plus x squared, so it's equal to 45 squared. That's going to give us 2025. Okay, solving for the value of x, so this is going to give us 49 over 49, so 300. Okay, so let's just double check. Okay, so this is going to be equal to 373 over 49 x squared is equal to 2025. Then we have to divide both sides, or we can simply multiply both sides by the reciprocal of 373 over 49, which is 49 over 373, and therefore the value of x squared is going to be equal to, we're going to get that the value of x is equal to 16.31. Okay, so if x is equal to 16.31, so therefore CT must also be equal to 16.31, and that's also the width. Okay, 16.31 inches. And if we multiply that to 18 over 7 is 16.31 to get the measurement of RC, which is the length. Okay, so that's going to be 18. Okay, so 8 times 18 over 7. So it's going to give us 41.94. Okay, so that's quite a high TV. Okay, so it's 41.94 inches. Okay, so there you go. So this is the length, this is the width, and this is the value of x. Okay, so for our last problem, we have here a snail shell is formed from 6 triangular sections as shown below. Each triangle is an has interior angles of 30, 60, 90 degrees. So it follows a 30, 60, 90 pattern. If AB is equal to 1, find the measurement of this one, of HA or AH in centimeters. Okay, so we have here AB is equal to 1. We're going to use a very special right triangle. Okay, so we call this as a special right triangle. Okay, so that's going to give us 2s. Okay, 2s is going to be the hypotenuse. S is going to be the side opposite the 30-degree angle, and 60 is going and s squared to 3 is going to be the side opposite of the 60-degree angle. So if we have here 1, so therefore the opposite side of that would be 1 over square root of 3. And 1 square root of 3 is just simply going to be square root of 3 over 3. And if you multiply that by 2, therefore the measurement of this hypotenuse is going to be 2 square root of 3. Okay, and the pattern continues. So 2 square root of 3 divided by square root of 3, so this is going to give us 2/3 for DC. Okay, and 2/3 times 2, so that's going to give us 4/3 for this one. And 4/3 divided by square root of 3, so that's going to give us 4 square root of 3 all over 9, and 4 square root of 3 over 9 times 2, so that's going to give us 8 square root of 3 all over 9. And then if we divide this by square root of 3, we're going to get 8 over 9 for this one. And if we multiply that by 2, we're going to get here 16 over 9. Okay, and then if we divide this by square root of 3, so that's going to give us 16 square root of 3 over 27. Okay, and then if we multiply that by 2, we're going to be given 32 square root of 3 over 27. And if we divide that by square root of 3, we're going to be given 32 over 27. And if we multiply that by 2, we're going to be given 64 over 20.